At the recording of this video, the Detroit Pistons are 12-21, 11th place in the Eastern Conference. Normally, this would be signs of a team that needs to rebuild. But for the Detroit Pistons, that's not the case. And you know what? That's okay. Before we start, well, hi, I'm Zarek. I did that one Avengers video you may or may not have seen. If you haven't, please go watch it. You may know me from my Twitter activities. Follow me. But most importantly, subscribe to the Palace of Pistons YouTube channel. Let's get this channel to 1,000 subscribers. That's not too much to ask for, right? And click like on the video. Now that we got that out the way, you're probably wondering why the Detroit Pistons aren't going to rebuild, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Most importantly, the Detroit Pistons have an owner, Tom Gordon. You may have heard of him, especially if you're a subscriber to this channel, who does not like rebuilds. He does not like to tank. You know what? I'll just let him take it away.
I just don't believe in the idea of whatever you want to call it, tanking, losing. We need a winning culture, and let's just see what happens from there. I don't think sports is about that. You can't get on the court and think about losing. I just don't believe in it. We should discuss with all the sports. We should never be tanking, losing on purpose because of the rules. We got to go out and win. That's what it's all about.
When you see something like that, it's pretty obvious there's a mandate from the top that they don't want to rebuild and they want to keep pushing for the playoffs. And even though that they're 12-21, they're not out of it. They're only 2.5 games back from 8th place, which, again, trust me, I don't want to be in 8th place, but it's a start. Obviously, the hope is that the Pistons can turn around their season and start winning games, which would be ideal, but a lot of people don't see it happening, and that's why there's been a major push in the fan base to completely blow it up. And Blake Griffin's performance since returning from injury, that's assuming he's not injured, which he clearly is, has not helped. But here's the thing. As much as a lot of us would like to, the Detroit Pistons will not rebuild. It's just not going to happen, especially with the way things are going right now. They're not completely out of it, and if they're not completely out of it, they are not going to stop pushing for the playoffs. So what are they going to do? Well, I think the Detroit Pistons are going to do something resembling the 2017-18 season. And if you don't remember that, well, what happened in the 2017-18 season was the Pistons got off to a great start in their new arena in downtown Detroit, Little Caesars Arena. I was actually a season ticket holder. Very exciting times. Then we started losing games. A lot. And Stan Van Gundy was sweating, and he had to make a decision. He had to do something to make the Pistons a lot better, and he had to do something drastic. And what did he do? Well, he brought in Blake Griffin.
Shocked is
Now, last season we were talking about how much we won this trade because Blake Griffin was playing out of his mind, but this season we haven't been so lucky. Blake has struggled. So you have to believe the assumption is that Blake Griffin will get healthy and he'll get back to himself, which, fair enough. But going on that assumption, they have to believe that they'll have Blake by the time the playoffs roll around. But they obviously need help, and they need a lot. Actually, they need a lot of help. So they could go along the lines of the 2017-18 season and try to pull off a blockbuster trade. And more likely than not, the trade will be divisive because it'll include a first-round pick or two. But who do the Pistons trade for? That's the question. My guess would be something along the lines of DeMar DeRozan, Drew Holiday, or something like that. But you never know. It could be something completely out of left field. Someone who you didn't even think would be available. Someone who we didn't know was available was Blake Griffin. And this would likely end with us moving from the 11th, 10th, 9th range to the 8th, 7th, 6th seed range. And would probably include a playoff series, which included us maybe getting a win. That'd be nice. We haven't gotten one of those in over a decade. Or the Pistons could do something else, which also doesn't include a rebuild. Nothing. Before you ask, what I meant by nothing is literally doing nothing. The absolute minimal. You see, the Detroit Pistons have almost $60 million in cap space this summer. And if this season is a wash, I think the smartest thing for them to do would be doing nothing. See, what a lot of people are missing is the fact that when you want to blow it up, you have to take on a contract which matches the one you're trading. One trade I saw a lot on Twitter was Nicholas Batum and Malik Monk for Andre Drummond, which included us also getting a first-round pick from the Hornets. And I'm just going to have to say that's a big no for me. You see, the Pistons, if they do want to shake it up completely and start from scratch, the best time to do it would be during the off season, because around draft time last year we moved a terrible contract in John Lure, who gave us no production, for Tony Snell and a first round pick. So if you really wanted to trade Blake Griffin, the best time to do it would be in the off season. Even though, personally I don't want to move Blake, the best time to get the best return would be after this season. And most importantly, you would keep your draft pick. So let's say the Pistons keep performing as they are and, they don't turn it around and they keep losing. They'll more than likely end up with a pretty decent pick. And that pick would probably be helpful towards the future, but also towards getting a successful season next season. Me personally, I'd rather not rebuild. I'd rather retool. I know I'm not in the majority here, but I'd like to see a playoff series this year. I feel like that'd be nice. Just as long as it's not against the Bucks. But hey, that's just my thoughts on the situation. They could completely go against what they say and what they've done for the last 10 plus years and rebuild. I don't see it happening, but you could let me know what you think in the comment section below. And again, please, hit like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.